So I want to take just a couple of minutes and explain something that's really important in solid modeling. And that's solid modeling regardless if you're using Inventor, SolidWorks, Creo, SketchUp, Solid Edge. It really doesn't matter. This is a fundamental good practice that'll keep you out of trouble and make your coworkers not hate you. So what you want to do is always, 100% of the time, use fully defined sketches. And what do I mean by fully defined sketches? I mean sketches that all the elements are fully defined and cannot move, with the exception of removing a constraint or changing a dimension. So here's a sketch, and I've looked at everybody's drawings, and I'm seeing this on everyone's parts. So I wanted to bring it to everyone's attention. So you really want to pay attention to what Inventor is telling you about your sketch. So anytime you're in a sketch, the status bar down here in the lower left will tell you that you need more dimensions or relations to fully define the sketch. So this is saying we need 7 dimensions to fully define the sketch. The sketch has all the dimensions that are given for the part. So the shape and the size is correct, but it's not fully defined. So one of the first things that you want to do to fully define your sketches is to anchor it to the origin. So, the origin is this little yellow dot right here. And I usually like to place that somewhere where it's going to help me out down the road. You can make decisions, and as you get more experience, you'll make better decisions. But maybe I want that origin to be right on that midpoint right there. So that took away 2 dimensions that were needed right now. So again, we've got all the dimensions that we need, and this part looks like it's right. And in fact, I could extrude this part and the size and shape be correct. But the sketch is poor practice. And so a lot of times, if you're not sure what kind of relations you need, you can just kind of left click and drag something around. So just kind of pick on it, and you can see, wow, with just a little slight move, it really contorted significantly. So there's some things that I see that I need to add. One thing that I need to add is a tangent relation between this arc and this edge. So I'll pick my tangent constraint and pick those 2. I can see that I need tangent constraints here. So I'm starting to kind of get this in line. If you try to put one that's already in there, it'll tell you. Another good thing that's helpful is if you right click in your sketch and pick show all constraints. That way you can kind of see what's there and what's not. So you can see we're missing tangent down here. So you can see when I added that tangent, most of the elements turned black. And that's your visual representation that that element is fully defined. Now this one and this one are not fully defined, and that's because they're lacking those tangent elements also. So when I add those tangent relations in, all of my elements now are black, and nothing is missing. So we have all the, sorry about the zoom there. So we have all the dimensions, and down here in the status bar, the most important thing that we're looking for is that our sketch is fully defined. What that's going to do is that's going to keep our parts changing the way that we want them to change. So had I left those tangent relations off and I changed one of the dimensions to another number, that dimension would change, but also it could have inadvertently changed the shape and size of the part in a manner that we did not expect. This is huge. One thing that you have to keep in mind is that parts are very rarely perfect from the beginning. So they're always being revised. And you're not always the person that's revising the parts. So you work with your coworkers, they work on projects, and they have to change the parts that you made. And if you did a poor job modeling that part, then you just multiplied their workload. So you want to use good practices in all your solid modeling. And the very critical thing, the very fundamental thing of good practice solid modeling is fully defined 2D sketches. Fully defined sketches, period. So I hope you understand what I'm saying by this, and you'll get in the habit of really watching that status bar and making sure that your sketches are fully defined. It's not hard. You just want to do it, and you'll thank me down the road somewhere. I'm sure of it. So this is a good practice to get into, a good habit to form, and it'll make your parts much more robust and easy to modify. If you have any questions, send me an email. Thanks.